All right, joining us on the program is legal practitioner Monday Ubani for to take a look at the events that have transpired at the Labour Party presidential primary in Delta State in Asaba. Well, great to have you on the News Across Nigeria, Mr. Monday Ubani.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon for having me.
All right, so now that the PDP primary is over and peacefully too, tell us, what should Nigerians expect from the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress?
Well, the expectations of Nigerians is that APC should go ahead and produce their own presidential candidate. But they have kept Nigerians actually guessing as to who and then even manner of production of their candidate. As I speak to you, nobody is too sure of which method they will use in order to produce their presidential candidate. Are they going to use direct mode or indirect, or is it by consensus? As of today, things are clearly uncertain with regards to the convention of APC that will produce the presidential candidate, unless they have probably set up a committee that is doing the screening of the presidential aspirant. As at 48 hours ago, nobody is too sure whether they will still go ahead with their convention and what date in particular. But I think that INEC has extended the deadline, and I'm sure they will take advantage of that deadline in order to hold their convention and produce the presidential aspirant for the party.
All right, many issues indeed came up at the PDP primary. Some of these include the emergence of Atiku Abubakar as candidate, as you already know. Do you think the APC may follow a similar path by electing a northern candidate, and considering the power or the influence the like of Atiku Abubakar possesses in the north, of course?
Yeah, people are really guessing that the reason why APC have actually been delaying their convention is to see who will emerge at the convention of PDP. Now that PDP has actually produced a northern candidate, it is likely, I'm only guessing, I'm not God, it's only God that knows the heart of men. It's likely that the APC may follow suit in producing a northern candidate also, because of the large voters, that actually emanate from that region. That is the thinking of many analysts and people who are looking at the political scene, that they may likely produce a candidate from the north. But then again, would that actually solve the issue of fairness, equity, and justice, which everyone is clamoring for? If you look at the two political parties, their chairmen are from the northern region, and the same two political parties, that are two major political parties, are also producing their presidential candidate from the same region. Is there fairness and equity in all that? So it's a matter for debate. But the point is that the likelihood is that the APC may likely toe the same line in producing a northern candidate that will give a clear fight with Atiku, who of course has also large followership from across the entire country.
All right, let's talk about the Labour Party right about now. Of course, the party has already held its presidential primary in Delta State. And of course, we know that Mr. Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, has emerged. That, of course, led to the stepping down of the likes of Professor Pat Utomi. Do you think that may eventually pave the way for him to become the party's flag bearer? Of course, we already know that he has the votes now. But can he take it a step further at the presidential poll, Mr. Peter Obi?
Yes, when I landed, he has also probably resigned from PDP and is going to join a political party. Labour Party became, the choice destination. Now that we have Pat Utomi and the rest of them that were actually clamoring for presidency, who have actually stepped down for him, it's obvious that Peter Obi may likely emerge as a presidential hopeful of Labour Party. And I tell you, this is a very good development for us as a nation. Peter Obi has gathered so many followership on the internet, and I believe that those internet followers actually have their PVCs with which they can probably define our political scene in Nigeria, because the old system, people are tired of it. They are looking for a new hand, a new person that can actually change the course of events for us as a nation. And so if Labour Party produces Peter Obi, I tell you that the contest will become very exciting and interesting. And I'm looking forward to such happening in Nigeria, so that Nigerians can have an alternative, can have a better choice. That is my belief and that is my prayer. Let Obi emerge as a presidential hopeful of Labour Party. We now have Atiku, and then let APC produce and let Nigerians now be in a better position to choose who is going to be president in 2023. So, to me, it's looking as a very healthy development for us as a nation.
All right, in all of this, I mean, now that we're beginning to know the presidential candidates of some of the top political parties, let's even talk about the running mates. How do you see this panning out? For instance, in the PDP, where Atiku Abubakar is the presidential candidate, who do you think will make his running mate? Which geopolitical zone do you think he will be going for? Vis-a-vis the likes of Peter Obi as well with the Labour Party. We're still waiting, of course, for the APC, but that is also key in all of this.
Yes, I think that all of them who making the choice of their advice will actually allow all the presidential hopefuls to emerge from the various political parties before they begin to pick their VPs. Now there are names that have been mentioned in the PDP, especially from the South. Emmanuel Odom has been mentioned. Pius Anyim has also been mentioned. Some people are also clamoring for Wike, who lost the presidential, seem to be Atiku's vice. I don't know how that's going to pan out because, of course, if you see the kind of language that was used by Wike against Atiku, I don't know whether both of them can actually work together. There are some other names that have been mentioned, and even Emeka Ihedioha from also Imo State has also been mentioned as one of the likely choice of Atiku. So it is clearly now on the table of Atiku now to look at the entire political scene and make a wise choice that will actually help him in order to gather the votes of the southern Nigeria, and then probably give APC and other political parties, and including Labour, a run for their money. So it is on the table of the presidential hopeful to now make the choice of the VP. But I think that some names have been mentioned, and I mentioned some of those names and others. So it is left, for that political party to make their final choice. But it's important that they allow all the presidential hopefuls to emerge, so that when you are now making your choice of your VP, you take into account that the geopolitical equation is very important for any of the political parties to be very conscious of that fundamental fact that in making choice of president and vice, other regions must be duly considered. And there's no one region that can produce a presidency in Nigeria. Other regions must always join hands in doing that. So in making their choices, I think they will take all that into consideration.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Mr. Monday Ubani, legal practitioner, thank you for your thoughts here on News Across Nigeria. We appreciate your thoughts again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.